2, 1, good luck.
Welcome back to Horrible Gains, everyone. We are here raising money for the Heartland Animal Shelter, and Joseph joestar316 has Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots for y'all with commentator Sergeant Silent.
All right. Hello once again. You may have just seen the win-back run that I did with Mayo on co-commentary, and this time I have Sergeant Silent, who is a fellow MGS4 speedrunner. So, Sarge, how you doing, man?
Hi. Those of you who were here for Haze earlier in the day will recognize my voice. 2 great runs back to back. I'm doing great. I'm also tired. I don't know if my name's Tired or Sarge, but it's one of them.
Well, I mean, trust me, there'll be plenty of things happening that'll keep us both up, especially with the interesting twist of, in case people are curious, well, what makes MGS4 horror or horrible, which this is going to be a meme category run of what makes the game scary, which is not making me afraid, but rather the guards throughout the run, which I think I'll just let the game speak for itself. So we're going to start from a save, which is a community-agreed procedure, so that way we don't have to sit through 2.5 minutes of commercials. So, Sarge, I'm ready to go.
I'm good to go.
Timer is going to start as soon as I press start after loading this save. It's basically the first point in the game when you gain control as Snake. So, here we go. It's Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots on the Boss Extreme, highest difficulty, Do Game Plus, and it starts right now. And just like that, another cutscene!
Yeah.
It's brief, but I just make fun of the fact that it's like you have to wait for 2.5 minutes, get a little bit of gameplay, and then you gotta sit through another set of cutscene. But I guess the interesting thing about New Game Plus is the beginning of the game kind of runs like if it was New Game. You don't have any of your past ammo, equipment, or items until you reach Otacon's like Mark II unit, the little droid, which that's when you really gain everything. So even though I'm running any percent, which means I'm not going for any ranks, I'm not going for big boss, I don't care about the alerts, kills, or healing items used, hopefully I'll never die. I mean, that's the continue part. Hopefully the continues remain 0. But I have run this game on the same difficulty, same New Game Plus for Big Boss. But Sarge, I hear you've had a lot of extensive experience with running this game. So I guess maybe kind of talk a little bit about that, since we're just skipping from one cutscene to the next.
I don't know who lied to you. I've never played this game before. This is the first time ever, I swear.
I'm not buying it.
The points are extremely nice total right now. We are currently sitting at $669 raised for the Heartland
Let's
Animal.
go.
Can we get some nices in the chat, please?
Nice. So yeah, I mean, this is MGS4. I think it's a great fit for this marathon because it's a lot of cutscenes. People would call this an interactive movie featuring gameplay. I do believe that is a thing that has been called. But so the even in the any percent category, it is worth pointing out that the first rooms that we play through, this being Red Zone, is actually some of the hardest rooms in the entire game. And we're on the hardest difficulty, which means the movements we need to make in this room are very precise. So we purposely fired the gun to trigger a caution to skip a cutscene, get some guards looking the other way, shot that barrel, rolled into that door. Every bit of movement you see in this game is purposefully done because obviously we don't really care about the rank, but on this difficulty, you do want to play it fast, but also safe. Snake cannot take a lot of bullets, so in rooms where it's better to just stay alive, like if Joe gets hit here, you will see just how much damage he takes from, that was what, two 2 bullets, 1
yeah,
bullet.
I mean
almost.
their weapons they use, the MK17s, they deal a lot of damage, and I'm just looking at it and get mini stunned, which among other things, they can like stop you in place. But this is where the twist comes into effect. So here's Old Snake, right?
Yeah.
Now we're equipping the Big Boss Mask, which is only obtainable when you get the Big Boss rank. We'll explain what that does as it happens, and then the Corpse Camo to complete the. I don't know what you would say. This is like the bacon snake, the zombie snake, because if I see this running at me, I'll be running the other way. And let's just see how the guards react to this. I mean, we're a little bit early for Halloween, or you could say we're really late for Halloween, but we'll just say hi to these guys like, hey guys, what do you think of this outfit?
Oh god, bacon snake coming through.
Okay, what about these guys?
So right now we're seeing what these guards think of us, and everyone seems to be freaking out. Everyone's just terrified of this. Joe, what are you doing here? Why are you scaring them all?
Well, that's the power of the Big Boss Mask, which basically is it's a New Game Plus item, face camo, which any guard, PMC, or frog that looks at you will go into a panic, with the exception of the frogs, which will just faint. And as you can see, those three look at me and they're just freaking out.
We'll see frogs later. That's another type of soldier. We'll point them out when we get there. For now, these are all So this game features a mechanic where you can essentially join the rebels, quote unquote. These guys are rebels. They're intended to be allies or neutral to you. We don't really care. This is New Game Plus. We're a zombie. We're going through.
I don't think they're gonna be my friend in this run. Anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna be your friend. I'm scared of Bacon Snake. This isn't what I signed up for.
Hey man, I told you. So we're meeting up with Drebin. He's one of the arms dealers, who then gives Snake the nanomachine, I guess, suppressants that allows him to use. Because at this point of the story in Metal Gear, weapons are ID locked by nanomachines. And since Snake was using an older set, Drebin kind of hooks him up with not only a fancy M4 custom rifle, which we'll use a little bit throughout this run, but it allows him to bypass any ID locking features. Also, there's a sale today for the Drebin shop, which we'll never use because we're on New Game Plus. We got everything. So
there's actually a sale today for me.
Oh, well, there you go. Oh yeah, because it's technically Sunday by you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So yeah, what I think Joe is gonna say is we're being on New Game Plus, we have everything. So menu optimization is actually really important to this run. So we're gonna set our menu up as soon as we get a chance to make a optimal setup so that we have to menu as few times as possible throughout the rest of this run. That's the key part of New Game Plus, is it's almost always focused on quick takeouts and good movement, because you have everything you need right from the start.
Yep, and just like everything you do in-game, your menus and movement do add up in time loss when you kind of evaluate where to improve your run, and sometimes it always pays to go back to the basics. So what I'm going to do here is roll into this trigger, and then as this rebel comes down, I'm going to stand up. And I guess Sarge, that's just like I guess free optimization, just so you don't get stunned in place.
Yeah, you're supposed to get stunned there, but by rolling into it, you trigger the cutscene without triggering the stun effect, and that lets you get up and moving faster. Small time saves like that matter all over this run. Yeah, this game is pretty complex. Looking at the engine and how the game works, there's quite a lot working underneath this game. As most people say, this game is black magic running on a PS3, which is also black magic. So everything you're seeing is just magic. It just works.
So I'm throwing smokes there to give me a little bit of cover, not for alert prevention, but just so that guards see me, won't shoot me trying to cross that corner. And Sarge, you may have noticed I've thrown yellow smokes instead of the normal ones.
I
guess
did.
maybe you can explain what those kind of smokes do and...
Yeah, so MGS4 runs on something called the Emotion Engine, which is a play on words because on New Game Plus playthroughs of this game, you unlock something called Emotion Ammo, which is yellow, green, red, and blue, which do different things. In the case of yellow, it makes everyone really giggly. Emotions play a huge part in this game. So, I mean, we're turning them from screaming scared people to people giggling at the bacon snake running towards them. This is gonna be a little roller coaster of emotions, everyone. Get ready for this.
Yeah,
I mean, did you just snake?
What?
Bacon snake?
Bacon snake.
Yeah, bacon snake. I don't know what else to call this. I mean, the corpse camo kind of makes it look like that. Or zombie snake, bacon snake. Maybe a zombie bacon snake if you really want to make it terrifying. Okay, so now I'm going to set up for... Actually, no, wait. I take that back. Just kidding. But what's going to be coming up is the... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's not important. It's just, this is from the era when everybody was obsessed with bacon, isn't it?
Yeah, 2008. Did people like bacon in 2008? Do people like bacon now? Did people ever stop liking bacon?
I mean, I don't imagine that people ever stopped liking bacon, but I do imagine they stopped making, like, bacon Band-Aids and bacon spray and bacon... I don't even know.
I understand. It's all the dots are making sense now. I understand why this game is in this marathon.
There was a bacon era.
Oh man, what have I unleashed, Sarge?
Bacon snake.
Or alternatively, snake and bake.
Yeah, I like that. Snake and bake. Alright, so this is the first boss in the game. It's not a, like, singular boss. It's basically Liquid's elite soldiers have ambushed us, and we have to not die. There's a lot of tech going on behind the scenes here. Specifically, when we take frogs out, like that sleep satchel that Joe put on the door is going to be used to take some guards out later. And again, because this is any percent, we don't care about rank. We're just gonna shoot frogs to get them moving. You punched Meryl. That's optimal.
Yeah, it was an accident. But if you want to have these frogs spawn right away here, you gotta let Meryl go in the stairwell first.
Yeah.
So if Jonathan kind of gets ahead, you either just tap him, or sometimes you'll see people just like shoot him with the operator, just enough to stun him. All right, now I gotta listen for this cue, and there it is. All right, go ahead, Sarge.
Yeah. Jonathan's the big guy with the exclamation on the back of his head. You might have seen it. Do remember, we're playing on the boss extreme, which means that if any of these frogs decide we are going to be their bullet sponge for the day, there's a strong chance of death. Joe has rations equipped because the frame rate gain from running in something like night vision is not worth the time lost from taking 6 bullets to the body and instantly dying. This fight could be very scary. If done optimally, nothing will ever hit you, but these sleep gas satchels that we're seeing go off are all very precisely timed. Frogs always come in the same way, but like if one thing goes wrong, fights like this can just go through the roof very bad. Very, very bad. So far it's a good fight. We're setting up for the next floor right now, and which is gonna involve a lot more sleep gas satchels. If we could take all these frogs out, or the more frogs we take out, the less we have to deal with, which makes life way easier for us, including one extra sleep gas satchel that we're putting down to take out a future wave of frogs. That was a animation cancel right there. You saw Joe punch Rat Patrol and then punch Johnny specifically. The long and short is Johnny was gonna go to the bathroom on us, and we don't want that because that's slow. So we just made him do it really fast. Johnny is
I'm sorry, I'm just screwing around. Keep going.
Gotta go fast.
No, it's just like
Yeah.
it's like he's staring into your soul. Beware the
dude.
bacon snake.
Look at the. Oh God. Oh no.
Sorry, Sarge, I couldn't resist. Okay.
Bacon snake. Yeah, why am I even bothering explaining what you're doing? And look at the scary bacon snake. That's all you need.
So there's all the sleep gas satchels that were deployed that were planted on the floor.
Yeah.
If any of them are left upright after I did that, they will basically go down the hallway and then just slow down the encounter. And then when Meryl says, "Are you all right?" that basically means that it's done. They're gonna kick Johnny up since when the wall came down, the stuns that were thrown, which I ran through, and knocked him out, and you can't advance until he gets revived. So it's faster just to let Meryl's team wake him up.
Yeah.
Also, Johnny, he had a little bit of an accident.
Yeah, this is, remember when we punched Johnny? Yeah, this is what we did this. This is our fault. Bacon snake strikes again.
Let's see, is it clear, Johnny? Give us a thumbs up. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
So a little bit thing here is we're gonna, let Jonathan go through, because after all, it's proper manners. Then we're gonna land on top of him.
Because it's proper manners.
Yeah, I mean, more than just the meme of knocking him over, but I think it's like it skips dialogue or a trigger, so that this bulldozer comes in sooner.
Yeah, it makes the bulldozer come in, like, instantly, instead of having to wait for it. And now we're just gonna mow these frogs down. And then take out the last few that hop in. And we're pretty much done with frogs at that.
It's like, good job, team.
And then there's we're gonna show our team how happy we are by knocking them around in the doorway, because believe it or not, it's faster. We punish Rat Patrol a lot in this game when we can.
Yeah, they made it through. I mean, it's just a little bit of a aggressive, I don't know, cuddling maybe. I don't know what else to call it.
It's aggressive rewarding for their
there
well
you go.
done.
So that was frogs. Went pretty well. Some things that can happen, I'm sure Sarge covered it, is sometimes I'll have the frogs at the stairwell. They'll spawn late. And so one of the first satchels that gets planted is really important. That one goes off properly. Because then they'll just show up really late, and then other frogs spawn in. And before you know it, you're already down, probably like a couple minutes, but it feels a lot longer.
A couple minutes and maybe a bar of HP.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is equip for part of the next act, and at the same time to finish out this one that I have here. So Operator gets used, not really in the context of like we really need to use it, but the game just likes equipping it during like story flags, and same with the M4 Custom. Meaning, if you don't have those weapons in your inventory, the game's gonna put it in your inventory for you. So you have to design your inventory selection around those items, knowing when they get triggered in. Same with the Solid Eye, even though I don't really use it, except for maybe like one part during the run, which is gonna be in Act 4, for a boss fight. But for the main part of the run, it's gonna be mixing in the ration and the syringe. And of course, I'm gonna be memeing around again by watching that guy fall and throwing this laughing gas, let's call it.
Oh, did that guy fall on your grenade? I've never seen that animation before. That was great.
Wait, you never seen it before? You never seen it before?
I've never.
That's never happened before?
Yeah, let's just say it's never happened before.
There we go. That's what I was
There
looking
we
for.
go.
How y'all feel about some donations right now?
This is a good time.
All right. Well, they have just been rolling in. We got $55 from Mr. Cab. Thank you so much, Mr. Cab. We got $14 from Abel Keen. Now, that is the donation that put our total up to $669. So can we get a nice for Abel Keen? However, we have surpassed that because another donation came in from Abel Keen for $69.
Wow.
Saying a last dono for the run. Thanks to all the runners, virtual couch, host, staff, and chat for this event. I have my 2 dogs on my lap, and I feel compelled to help other pets. Plus, I'm always happy to see the MGS run. Hey, chat, help us get to $800. Less than 3, and then another less than 3. So much love from Abel Keen. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm very happy to see all of those nices in the chat. And we are up to $739 out of our $800 goal. Up from our original $500 goal. Y'all are doing amazing. We only have 2.5 runs, 2 3/4 runs left in this entire marathon to raise the rest of that money that we are looking for. $61. I believe we can do it. Chat, $800 for the Heartland Animal Shelter. Let's go.
Wow, that is very generous donations. Thank you so much. It's going to a great place, and I don't know if you caught that, Sarge, but I just CQC'd that guy for the heck of it. I didn't need to, but sometimes you just gotta remind them who's in charge, and that's.
I also noticed the guard that shot you and took an entire 2 rations from you.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what he said at the beginning. I mean, even though I'm basically just cruising through the rooms, I mean, it's not a matter of if we take damage, but it's when and how much. And their guns hurt. You know, I mean, it's a 20-round magazine. I think it's 7.62 millimeter rounds, but I mean, on this difficulty, they hurt. I mean, as a matter of fact, like whatever gun, unless if it's like a pistol or something, I mean, it will hurt. But thankfully, I go through a rotation of rations, instant noodles, and regain. Rations are the most common, followed by noodles and regain. The noodles and regain will not only recover your HP more to full, but they will recover any stamina or I guess stress meter loss. Rations will only recover HP, which is kind of like our first go-to item, because the syringe, which is normally obtained when you get into the lab of Act 2, which is coming up. I guess maybe explain like what the syringe item does in this run in particular for any percent.
So, in general, the syringe, it has a special use, which we'll talk about later, but the primary use is that Snake, you'll notice if you look at Snake's HP bar, beneath it is another smaller bar, and then beneath that is a number. That is the psych bar and the stress meter. When Snake gets super stressed, his stamina psych starts rapidly dropping, essentially in any percent, because we are running at 80% stress the entire run, because things like being hunted, having an alert, all that stuff adds to stress. Whenever Snake's stamina gets really low, he'll start to suffer things like backaches, and he'll vomit and stuff like that. But all we do is just go with the syringe real quick, and our stamina goes straight to 100, and we can just keep on running through this like a mad lad who does not care about anything. The syringe will see liberal use during any percent TBE or the boss extreme, just because of how much stress we will continually be acquiring throughout this run, especially in Act 2. Act 2 is pretty universally considered the most challenging act in the game, especially for the harder categories. This area in particular is very brutal. There are a lot of guards everywhere. All of them are causing you stress. All of them are shooting at you. Joe is making very liberal use of these green smokes to get shot as little as possible, because we can only carry 3 of each recovery items. If we lose all of those recovery items, we're in for a bad time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the rations are easy to find throughout the game, but it's that moment of when you don't have any healing items, and then you can't just, charge your way through. But So these are the rebels of Act 2, the guerrilla commandos, which, as you can guess, they don't really take kindly to my appearance either. Just like the militia of Act 1.
Yeah. If Joe equips the Solid Eye at any point, you'll see the colors show up next to guards as well. So green is associated with fear in this game, which is what the Big Boss mask is doing. So essentially, every time you see the word green or G on screen or Big Boss, there's gonna be some screaming. People gonna be scared. After all, this is what do you call it? A horror game, I think?
Yeah, it's a horror meme run.
Yeah.
I mean, there is some screaming, there is some scary parts. I mean, we're just kind of the one inflicting it, not receiving it.
Yeah. Well, and then except for the times you get shot, that's a little scary.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, trust me, there are some scary parts of running this game, even on like normal, like any percent structured runs. Not with what I'm doing with this, but especially for like big boss attempts, which are very precise and unforgiving when mistakes happen. Alerts are usually the first thing to go for me personally whenever I attempt them. And Act 2 is definitely a place for it to get lost early, if not earlier before that. But yeah, we're just cruising through.
If you did want to go for Big Boss, I do want to give you guys a heads up. Most people consider this to be the worst, if not second worst, Big Boss to try to get in a single sitting.
Yeah.
So just consider wisely if you really want to do that.
I mean, you know, I started this as a multi-segmented run, which is a category extension for this. Like, it has its own tab. And there's some strats you could do only in multi-segment, which won't apply here right now. But, yeah, of all the games that I've run for, like, rank 1, meaning, like, the highest rank, whether if it's Big Boss, Foxhound, depending on the game, this is probably one of the more challenging ones I've done. Mainly because of I guess the skill difficulty. You know, the guards themselves, like, their sight lines are outrageously long. You know, like with my camo index as is, they can see me from a mile away. And so the things you have to do to approach that are very exact, with somewhat of margin of error. But even for any percent, I mean, it's still... like, I feel like with any percent, it kind of takes the stealth element stress out, but it doesn't take away the difficulty, because that still is there, but you're just not, let's say, resetting over, getting spotted in Act 1, or getting caught in Cove Valley Village, or all the other areas where we tend to pull our hair out whenever we're going for Big Boss rank.
Yep. Yo, thanks Bingo-thon for the raid of 18. Shoutouts to you guys. Yeah, speaking of that, you'll notice Joe actually used one of the syringes. That's why his stamina is flashing right now. But on the note of stamina, because of the mechanics of how this game works, we can only use Bacon Snake for so long. There's gonna be a point where the game straight up tells us we can't do it, and then there's gonna be another point later where on this difficulty, running Bacon Snake would lose more time than the payoff would be worth. So most of the excitement is going to be in Act 1 and Act 2. Just to keep everyone prepared. It's better to stay alive when we can.
Yeah, because parts of Act 3, we have to go in a disguise, which is not the Bacon Snake as much as I like it. And then the bike segment of Act 3 also doesn't allow any camouflage disguises to be used at all. You know, as much as I would love to have the corpse camo on. But don't worry, Bacon Snake will make his return in Act 4 when we get there.
Yeah.
But Sarge, guess what? We got the Armored Bulldozer mini-boss.
Oh, yeah. Bulldozer. Hopefully it's safe. It's safe. It doesn't hurt anyone. I don't think it would do that, right?
No, it doesn't
the rebels
look like
driving the bull.
anybody.
Yeah, I mean the rebels driving this thing know what they're doing. Wow.
And I just got mortared, and I'm about to get hit by the... Okay, so I almost got hit by the bulldozer.
Oh my god! I I just saw frames of you rolling out of that bulldozer.
So, I mean, there is some fear element in this run after all.
Yeah,
You almost get ran over.
You're really living this on the edge. Bacon Snake is gonna become Corpse Snake soon if you keep this up.
Hey, man, it's called the corpse scale for a reason.
All right. I've been hearing a lot of Bacon Snake. Do we have time for a dono here?
Absolutely.
All right, well, I have a dono from Playful1510 for $1 with 2 emojis. Bacon Snake.
I approve.
Thank you.
I actually have an incentive I really want to talk about that just opened up. Is there time for that?
Sure.
Awesome. We have a brand new incentive. The last incentive of the marathon, given that we're on the last originally scheduled run. We have 2 bonus runs afterwards. This incentive is what will push us to $1,000, I believe. We are looking for $268.94. And you will get to see Kuno's hamsters, actual hamsters, live, adorable, crawling all over him. Kuno's hamsters, if we are able to reach the See the Hamsters incentive. So please, when you are getting those donations in to the Heartland Animal Shelter, please put them towards the See the Hamsters incentive. These are real, live. Oh, I've seen them. They're cute as heck. Please get those donations in so we can all see those hamsters.
Let's make it happen.
That's a good time for that incentive. It's like a callback to Metal Gear 2 and the Zanzibar Death Hamsters. That's a thing, by the way. Google it. I'm not lying
I'm
to
sorry,
you.
did you just say Zanzibar Death Hamsters?
I did say that. That's a thing.
Okay.
It's a real thing.
And I guess we're going from Zanzibar death hamsters to frogs again.
Yes, South American killer frogs. So Joe has stun grenades equipped. They're actually pretty important here. We need to get several well-placed stun grenades to take out a group of 4 of these frog soldiers. Did you get them, or is one of them walking away?
No, I think I got him.
Nice. All right. And then at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to sit in a specific spot, and that's going to manipulate the frogs.
Oh, that one got away from me.
Okay.
It's all right.
That's going to manipulate the frogs into going to a specific spot. And when they get to that spot, what we're going to do is shoot the ground to get their attention. They're going to look at us, and they're going to instantly faint. Unfortunately, the frogs can sometimes just see you if your movement is slightly off. But that was a good recovery despite having that alert.
Yeah, sometimes if they don't recognize you right away, they'll just go through their script of just like, you know, moving about the room. But this is the first actual boss fight of the run, which is Laughing Octopus, and I'm gonna concentrate for this first shot.
Yep. So speaking of scripts, this first boss fight is extremely scripted. We are going to use a railgun and immediately knock Octopus straight down into her first phase. So everything Octopus is going to do at this point, we know exactly where she's going to go. We know what she's going to do. The only variance is sometimes she'll have like 1 of 4 places to go. But essentially, we're using the best weapons in the game to just knock her HP thresholds down and trigger phases. So we're going to try to get a phase skip here by standing in a specific spot.
Oh, nice.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I did get it.
Nice. So because we got it, we confused Octopus's AI. We skipped a couple phases, like her pretending to be a frog, and it sent her straight into the Naomi phase, which allows us to save about 18 seconds. She's going to get up. Joe is going to position himself perfectly so she doesn't roll into a ball, the death ball of death, that will actually turn us into a corpse camo, and he's just going to straight up one-shot her with that. That was a perfect Octopus. That is what you want to see every time.
Yeah, and I just hope I can get that every time whenever I run this game, because it seems like a toss-up for whatever reason. So again, we're just going to be using the 50 caliber to take out, because every B&B boss, which is the Beauty and Beast theme, so you fight the mechanical beast form of each boss, and then the human form is like the secondary. So we roll on the floor on our back and we flip over a couple times so you get them to crawl down. So then when you fire, they won't be able to dodge. Because if you try to shoot upright, Sarge, I'm sure you've seen this many times. It's like they turn into like the agents from like the Matrix. They just dodge everything.
They just step to the side. It's even worse when you're trying to hit them with a shotgun. Because then they'll take a hit and then dodge.
Yeah,
but,
and I guess oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
I was just going to say, we don't really care, so we're just going to use the biggest thing we have in our arsenal and just unload into them to get them out of our way as quickly as possible. The beast form does not count as a kill regardless, but the beauty form, if you wanted to go for no kills, does actually count as a kill. So realistically, that is not viable if you wanted to go for the better ranks than just Raven, which is what we'll be almost certainly earning this run.
Yeah, and then even more so, if you're trying to get the solar gun, which is like really your New Game Plus's like best friend of a weapon, and it's like you have to take out Frogs of Act 1, each B&B boss, both mechanical and human form, non-lethally, and collect a figurine for each one.
I would like to point out this guard is so good he can smell us. Just everyone.
He's about 50 meters dead ahead.
I think he needs to take a 0 off of that, and he might be right.
Maybe I was wrong.
Who can't smell bacon? Like,
yeah, it's right under his nose. We got bacon. He's like
bacon
50,
nearby.
50 meters that away.
All right, so I guess this would be another good time for any messages or things you'd like to add in, since we're just gonna be running to the exit.
You know, I'd absolutely like to remind everybody about the charity that we are raising funds for, which is the Heartland Animal Shelter. It was founded in 2002 to help alleviate the unnecessary euthanasia of animals in the Chicagoland area. It's so funny, as I read this, my cat has come over here for pets. Their mission is to provide a no-kill shelter for the care, humane treatment, and adoption of lost, stray, and abandoned animals, and to find permanent, loving homes for homeless animals, and promote responsible pet ownership through education, community outreach, and collaboration, while maintaining respect and compassion for all creatures. It's just a wonderful, wonderful cause. Please do get those donations in. And remember, if we reach that $1,000 milestone, you will get to see Kuno's hamsters. They are amazingly adorable.
All right, well said. Yeah, definitely make that incentive happen. I mean, you know, the marathon's been doing a lot of, you know, good, you know, just goodwill work with all this, and you know, the guys, the incentives, the goals you're making, they're being smashed, from what I understand, and yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely keep going.
Our original goal was $500, and we are sitting at $739. So y'all have already done an amazing, amazing job.
So this is the first of, I guess, 2 vehicle segments of the run. Normally for stuff like this, you have to be very careful on what targets you hit with this mounted gun, which we're going to be using quite a bit. If you're going for rank 1 attempts, meaning, you know, you can't kill anything, you would normally be doing one of 2 things. One, you would just be buying time if it's new game, and then Drebin will leave since he's the one driving this APC tank. Whereas a New Game Plus run would use the solar gun on these power suits, since they do count as kills if you take them out like this. But for any percent, we're just all about the action. We're just blowing them away.
Yep.
Go ahead, man.
There is actually tech to taking these power suits out. The ones on the left side, you can actually take them out and prevent either of them from jumping if you get really good shots. So there is actually a lot of speed tech to this on any percent. It's not just mindlessly shooting them.
Right. Now in this section, there's going to be, let's say, quite a bit of geckos.
There's a few. This is probably the second scariest room in Act 2, mostly because it's 90% out of your control. If you look on the ground, there are a bunch of zombies, as we're going to call them, running around while these geckos are attacking us. If any of these zombies crawl onto the APC we're riding on, we have to immediately deal with them. There's one behind us right now, which could be bad. Like, you need to CQC them or knock them off or anything. The downside to that is if they hit you, they'll knock you off. But if you get off the turret, these geckos, one gecko hitting you in the head without a ration equipped is instant game over. The geckos do 100% of your health with a single
there's
head.
another one behind me. Oh, another two.
Oh, yeah. So, on this difficulty, you have to take out 11 geckos in a row from behind this turret, and you'll notice Snake's head is actually exposed here. The turret does not mean you are safe. I believe everyone who has tried has lost at least one run to getting hit, despite being on the turret.
Yeah,
that room
I've lost
not
big boss.
nice.
I lost big boss attempts to that room. The one with all the geckos, because of what he just said. I got sniped on the turret. It was really unfortunate.
Mayu has pointed out that this game has a frame rate of 2. I believe she is being very generous.
Yeah. It's... The game is, like, supposed to run at a variable, let's say, generous 60 frames per second, which it rarely ever reaches it, especially in segments like this where... On average, I think, Sarge, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think on average it runs at like, what, 35, 40 frames per second?
No.
There's little moments where it does get a little bit higher, but let's just say, generally speaking, it's like 30 and below a lot. Especially when there's explosions.
Oh yeah, if something blows up, you're gonna see a dip. So this is a gate boss. Those of you who might know Jaguar King, he ran this game at GDQ. Great runner. Gate boss is the hardest boss in the game. You have to sit here and calmly sing it a song while it slowly regenerates health until it eventually breaks.
Oh god, there's a zombie soldier behind me.
Oh no.
What?
Oh, I did it.
Into the gate.
What? Oh, you sing what a thrill in darkness and silence through the night. And you just keep doing that, but it's Gate Eater instead of Snake Eater.
Get ready for some speed!
Huh?
It
Huh?
absolutely worked.
Yeah, it did work.
We got through it.
Yeah, I mean, the Gate mini-boss is probably, like, one that is not known by a lot of people, but when you run this game, you kind of get acquainted pretty quickly. I don't know what it is, but it's like, but you know what, Sarge? It's like, even during this whole thing, I'm just glad Otacon is there to tell me what to do, even though I'm already, like, using the mounted gun. I'm already shooting at the gate, and he's just telling me twice, the gate, Snake, you gotta shoot the gate. It's like, bro, what's it look like I'm doing?
Snake, the gate, shoot the gate. Otacon is great. So
yeah, we love Otacon.
For the most part, the rest of this room is where the cutscene aspect kicks in. You can still die, but as long as you sit on the turret, you don't really have to do anything else for the rest of this room. The game likes to seamlessly mix gameplay and interactivity, and in the speedrun sense, that usually translates to... Oh, another auto-scroller.
Yeah, I mean, for rank 1 attempts, the room with all the gecko, it's probably like the one area where you're most likely to worry about deaths, or if you have rations on your inventory, about them being used. But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. There are some segments where you can lose time, even if it's like a quote-unquote auto-scroller. I mean, the gate mini-boss, for example, or the geckos, if you get attacked by too many of the zombie PMCs. Because like Sarge said, the idea is you want to get all the geckos eliminated as quickly as you can. I got really unlucky at the start, because sometimes a gecko could charge the tank and kick it, which could shake some of the soldiers off, or the ones trying to climb on top, but I don't know what it is. Sometimes they feel like they want to greet the tank, other times they just ignore it. But you definitely don't want them to jump behind you, because, like, even if you're trying to lure them in, having them jump behind you is worse, because then now you have two front of geckos to have to hold off. But Sarge, we got one thing left to do, and you know what that is?
Do I?
Yeah,
What is it?
we gotta get to the chopper.
Oh yeah, We gotta get to the chopper. Get to the chopper. I'm down. I'm on board with this. So this is the last level or last room of 2. That gecko at the end, it looks really scary, and he will kick you if you are scared of him.
There's the chopper.
But if you're not, he'll just go through. And there's the chopper. Indeed, we have gotten to the chopper.
Yep, and we've gotten out of that crazy place.
Well, with that's Act 2. So you'll notice we're earning Drebin points. That's more relevant for the new game category. For this category, essentially nothing on the results screens matters, but Drebin points are like the economy of this game. You need them to buy weapons, buy items, and a more in-depth description of that would come up in a new game. But basically, Joe got what he need, so it's just free money.
Yeah, because like in new game runs, like it's even routed slightly differently because they farm Drebin points in certain parts of the run so that they can accumulate a certain amount by a certain time in the run, so they can get certain weapons unlocked and purchased from the Drebin shop. Things like the 50 caliber rifle, the Mosin Nagant sniper. If unless I think you use the Mosin Nagant, I know the 50 caliber gets used quite often.
The war economy. After you take the shot on the guy Joe, go to the right instead of forward, and on the street on the right side you'll see the iPod track that I was talking about. If you don't have it picked up already.
All right, I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. Yeah, Sarge was telling me about a certain soundtrack I was trying to be on the lookout for, since we're entering Act 3. For those that know the game casually, or even from people that speedrun it, it is sort of like a little low point, kind of relaxes a little bit. We have to kind of say goodbye to Bacon Snake for a little while, because we're tasked with following this Resistance member, which, unfortunately, we can't really wear the Bacon outfit, so we're gonna just dress up as one of the BNB bosses, which, again, I've already acquired these from past playthroughs. You just have to have a different face camo other than Old Snake, Young Snake, so that the PMCs just won't recognize us. I mean, Sarge, this doesn't look sus at all, right?
Nah, natural.
Yeah,
all natural.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, they don't really care. As long as you don't do anything aggressive to gain the guards' attention, they'll just kind of leave you be. So now I'm going to be equipping, let's see.
It is worth noting that by aggressive, he also means if you carry a firearm at all, you instantly blow your cover and the guards report the face you're using, so you can no longer use it. But that does not apply to the knife, which it's a bit of semantics.
All right, let's see those cat jams. Because playing the iPod during this segment is what makes me get through it. So while we're waiting for this guy to make his way out here, I'm going to be going for a misdirect shot at his feet. Despite it being somewhat of like an auto-scroller segment, there's things you can do to speed it up. Such as firing misdirect rounds to speed up our resistance friend here, which I'm going to do right there. And if I did it right, he's going to run out down the street and to the right. If I did it not so right, then he's going to run straight ahead and to the left, which I did get the right pattern, so that's good.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to rely on your guidance for this soundtrack.
It's literally just along the wall.
Maybe I do already have it.
If you put the solid eye on, you'll see it. It'll light up. But that'll take the iPod track off, obviously.
Oh, all right, it'll be back. Oh, there it is. Wow, good call on the solid eye.
Yep. Should be Test Subject Duality. It's one of the best songs in the game.
Ah, there we go.
Thanks.
All right, so we're just making our way back, since what we did is we sped up the Resistance guy's, I guess, patrol path by shooting the round at the floor. And then he's just going to resume. And then once he starts moving again, right here, just making sure he's at that corner, because you can't get too far ahead of him, otherwise he won't move. So I'm just making sure that he's at the corner, and then what we're going to do is we're going to fire a crying round into both of these guards here. Oh, that's not good.
Uh-oh.
See if I can try to recover this.
Yeah, there's a lot of precise visual and audio cues in here. That actually might be good. You might have gotten it first.
Oh, and now I did it again.
Oh, no. Oh, that's the bad one to miss, too. But yeah, there's a lot of precise visual and audio cues in here. If you want to keep the resistance member moving optimally, you have to be very careful with your shots. Missing any of these shots puts you in a state of, oh crap. And you instantly have to revert to backup mode, which is what we're going to see here. Backup's going to show up, and Joe is going to take them out. Now, there is actually a reason for using the crying or alternative screaming ammo here. Normally, the resistance member, when he sees a guard unconscious on the ground, he goes, huh? And he stops and he investigates it, and it loses like 8 seconds.
What was it called again, Sarge? The
test
soundtrack?
subject duality. Test subject duality. When he sees the guards on the ground, he'll stop and lose about 8 seconds for it. But when he sees a guard, when he sees a guard asleep on the ground, crying or screaming or laughing, did he get held up? What happened?
I mean, he kind of did. Okay, now he's ruining.
Okay. He doesn't investigate it, which is interesting. So this is what I was talking about like this is turned into backup mode. Essentially, he's gonna go back, and then he's gonna decide to come back to us. It's just unfortunate it happens if you make a miss, but you know, this is a marathon. We're going with it. The only thing that could go wrong is if he gets fully captured, which he will most likely not.
No! Oh! I stopped it. Wow, that was that could have been disaster. Yeah, keep going.
This is fascinating. There is a crazy lady going through the streets at night right now, taking out all the local PMCs.
I don't know. She seems harmless to me.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't killed anyone, right?
I mean, I technically did, but I mean, they don't know that.
No. It was the barrel, right?
Yeah, well, I actually shot one of the guards because...
No. No, you didn't. It was the barrel. Oh, no.
Oh, it wasn't me, officer!
Joe, this is real monk ass right now.
I know.
Oh, no. Okay, so our cover has been blown, which means this is either going to be very hard or we could just change face camo. I believe that works, but our body is... they know what we look like face-wise, so now if we had seen at any point, it is not good. It's not good. You'll notice these guards are waking up really fast. That's because the cry ammo only puts them unconscious, whereas the sleep ammo actually puts them to sleep. Is the guy coming? Did he? Oh yeah,
he was just right there. So like you don't want the resistance guy to see you, at least directly. So I'm just kind of staying off to the side while he, just kind of looks at what's happening, and he's just gonna go about his way.
Yeah, and hopefully none of these guards are gonna wake up because.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna play it safe by, or actually, wait, I'm gonna get out of sight first, because if you change your face camo in front of them, it's also gonna drive a lot of suspicion. So we're gonna go as the first boss that we beat in the game, Laughing Octopus.
Nice, totally different person, guys.
Yep, the sus meter is telling me it's not sus at all.
I mean, you're not stressed at all. It's natural.
I mean, I'm sort of stressed right now because of everything that's happened, but yeah, in game we're good.
Bacon Snake, how do you do it? It's all natural.
I seriously thought you said it was the sus meter. You're like, my sus meter is...
I did say the sus meter.
He said that. He said sus meter.
You did say the sus meter. All right.
I mean, there's absolutely nothing out of the ordinary with this disguise. I mean, I'm just saying. All right, so now things are kind of back to normal. I kind of recovered what could have been a disaster.
Joe, what's your percent stressed at right now?
It's probably at a whopping 600 after all of that.
Ooh, that's a bit higher than the max of 80.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Hey, man, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
That's only in real life.
I think that guy did too many of the hydrate challenges. Okay,
Yeah.
so while he's going back, I'm gonna be tranking both of these guards here, and like what Sarge was saying before I kind of, created an incident, the resistance guy just doesn't really acknowledge that the guards are there. He won't stop to look and investigate. He'll just keep going. And then while he's moving about, I'm gonna see if I can try to kick the can. Oh, it almost went in the tree again. I kid you not, I did this in a stream of mine. I kicked that same can, and it got stuck in the tree. And I named it the can-eating tree ever since. Like, I don't know what caused it. I don't know why the game allowed it, but I just saw it, recorded it, and just said, man, that has got to be the most amazing yet ridiculous thing I've ever done.
That is beautiful. It's also worth pointing out, this resistance guy can't actually hear us. He can only see us. You can literally be right up on him and completely fine. As long as you don't physically interact with him or walk in front of him. You literally could get up on this guy if you wanted to. He's not good at making sure he's not being tailed.
So at this point, this is a fork in the road where if you don't clear this out, resistance guy is going to go left, and it's going to take a whole nother lot of minutes to get through it. We want him to go this way because it's faster. I'm just going to trank these two guards by tranking one to lure the other over. It's going to cause him to investigate when he gets over, but it's a lot better than having him go off into the left and then deal with a whole nother road.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess now that we kind of have a moment to breathe, I guess if there's any other things our host would like to chime in, this is another good time since we're just kind of waiting.
Yeah, well, I'd like to point out that we had another hydrate challenge. Speaking of those hydrate challenges, too many hydrate challenges. Frankly, you never have too many hydrate challenges. Well, maybe. But anyway, we've had another one, so I hope everybody's hydrating.
Oh, I bet I definitely refilled for this one because Sarge and I know this could be a doozy of a run, and we kind of got to see one of those kind of doozies.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's the last one, but it's not the only one.
Yeah.
And oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
good.
Go.
As y'all know, we're trying to reach that new goal of $1,000. But if you want to help out the Heartland Animal Shelter in another way, they actually have a wish list, an Amazon wish list of items that they really want for the shelter. And so if you don't want to donate directly to us, you can check out that wish list by typing !wish list in the chat.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, take a look, and yeah, definitely keep those donations coming in.
This is HQ.
Yeah, so we're waiting for him to turn the corner,
Resume position.
and now what's going to happen, he's going to go into the next area, so we can just go right behind him. And I'm actually going to swap tunes here to fit the area that we're going into next. You know, because there's a certain vehicle that I think people will almost kind of reference, even though it's not quite the same one. But I'm playing the soundtrack because, I don't know, it just kind of makes it feel like it gives it that nostalgia feel. Wait a minute, is that a Hind D? Doesn't sound like a Hind D.
What's a Russian gunship doing here?
Yeah, I mean, aren't we in... I actually don't know where we are in the story. I mean, we've just been running around as Bacon Snake and, you know, causing a commotion in the courtyard.
Technically speaking, we're actually in the Czech Republic. Fun fact. They scouted the Czech Republic for this. If you listen to the podcast in-game, they tell you all about it. Also, fun fact, if you guys ever boot this game up and you look at the houses, on each of the house doors, there is a number, like 103, 105. Those aren't just house numbers. Those are actually numbers that the devs referred to as a code-based system internally, so they knew if their testers were like, hey, over by house 305, there's an issue, the devs instantly knew exactly where that was in the map and what to fix. So fun little Easter egg there for you, in case you guys didn't know that.
Yeah, coming in with the facts, man. I love it.
Podcasting in this game is great.
So, same thing as the first area. We're just using the crying emotion rounds to basically... Not really. It's weird because, like, they're there, but as far as the resistance guy is concerned, he just kind of ignores them, just goes on by. Sort of mean. I mean, you know, he couldn't have just said, "Hey, buddy, what's wrong? What are you crying about?" Oh, never mind. They're passed out. Okay. We're just going about our merry way. So
well, if they're crying, they're obviously not a threat. But if they're unconscious, then you need to worry about it.
Yeah, or rather, it's when they're unconscious and they wake back up again. Let's see.
yeah.
What's another good one? We could play the classic one. Oops.
The classic one. There's a lot of classics in there. Well, that's not quite... Okay, there we go. I was like, I don't know if VR theme is classic. The iPod in this game is actually really well made. There's a lot you can do on it. No games or anything, but music-wise, it's exceptional. The tracks are really well made.
All right, so this is gonna be the second misdirect shot, which is gonna hopefully move our friend forward, and I'm gonna try to concentrate on the timing.
Yeah. You need audio for this?
Let's see. If I did it right, he's gonna run out around this van and to the left, which I did get. Awesome.
Yep. So he has two ways he can move. He can move the way that Joe got, which is really good and saves like 30 seconds. Or he can actually go to the right down an alley and lose like 45 seconds on top of what the normal path would be. So it's a really big RNG point that costs pretty much a free minute if he just chooses not to listen to. So really happy that he went that way. That saves a lot of time.
Yeah, sometimes if he goes off into the alley, I'll actually leave the area and come back to reload it, which is gonna put him back at that little corner where he changes his outfit to I don't know, something that looks like a guard. I mean, I'll point out some of the absurdities with what he's wearing, or rather what he's not wearing or having equipped. But basically, doing the misdirect, the ricochet, is going to put him at that spot, which is kind of considered a, like, pathway checkpoint, if you would. And so having him here, rather than having him move on his own, saves a lot of time. Also, that Humvee thing, yeah, we gotta be on the lookout for that. I've had really bad run-ins with it.
You know who else has had really bad run-ins with it? The Resistance member.
I was about to say, I mean, he doesn't know to look both ways before he crosses the street.
He really doesn't.
So let's review here, alright? So, PMCs, okay, they got body armor on, they got vests, they got guns, got the helmets, right? Now let's look at our guy here. Okay, so he kind of has the colors, right? It's got some of the, you know, the padding. But then, look at his helmet. Look at this helmet. It's a freaking bike helmet. Look at his helmet. Look at his helmet. What is he, like a cyclist or something, just heavily armored? Where's his main weapon? How is his outfit not ridiculous? I mean, look at me. Oh, man, I'm too suspicious. Look at this dude. He's not even, like, acting like a guy. He's just like... Yeah, I'm just out on, you know, Sunday night patrol. Oh, yeah, I left my weapon at home, by the way. Oh, yeah, no problem, Dan. Oh, yeah, that's just my, my 2 cents about the whole thing.
I don't see it. He looks the same to me.
I mean, it's Act 3. We're riffing. I mean, I'm trying to make this fun on a section that's really not so fun.
PMC budget.
Oh, man. But yeah, so from this point on, we're just kind of following him around. So, again, if there's another moment of, you know, our host chiming in with, or actually, no, I got to change the soundtrack because we already listened to that one.
I was just thinking about this guy you were talking about.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, he was late to patrol. He left his gun. You know, he had to take his bike to the patrol, so he wasn't too late. He's going with that piece of toast in his mouth and everything. You know what happened.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened at 2 a.m. I kind of want to see someone make art of this guy now as the Resistance Patrol buddy. He actually has toast in his mouth. He's just like, oh, laid him.
Baka. All right. Well, I do want to talk about the charity. Of course, I could make all kinds of jokes about this guy's helmet, but I'd rather talk about the charity we are raising funds for. Heartland Animal Shelter in 2020 saved the lives of 979 animals and found homes for 1,002 dogs and cats. So they are looking forward to saving even more lives in 2021, and that is what your donations are for. So please do get your donations in the Heartland Animal Shelter. And do remember that we have our hamster incentive that we are trying to meet. If we can meet that hamster incentive, we can get the entire marathon total to $1,000. Kuno will bring actual, factual, super adorable hamsters and let them crawl all over him for your entertainment. They're so freaking cute. Please get those donations in to see real hamsters. Why does my cat come over every time I'm reading donations?
Maybe the cat just wants to be part of the cat jam because I'm playing such a banger tune from MGS2.
She needs to join the cat jams. She's here for the cat jams.
As a fellow cat owner, I'm pretty confident that when you start getting active, it means they're gonna get some free pets, and they know that, and they're gonna use that against you because you're not gonna tell them no. We all know you're not.
So funny, like she didn't used to come over while I was sitting at the computer, and now she comes over like all the time.
Yep.
Oh, whoa. Okay, that was close. Like,
nice.
He almost died in a run that I just had not too long ago, where he turned that corner and then wham, got ran over by the Humvee. He just kind of like brushed up the side of it. Maybe wanted to say hello to the driver, but we're good. This freaking guy, I swear.
He just really wanted to show how much he blended in there.
Look before you cross the street. Okay,
totally not suspicious or anything there. So this is a good time to point out, by the way, if anyone wants to totally be the hero we all want and need, someone boot this game up and find a way to skip the last 14 minutes you just watched of Joe literally following this guy. If you do that, you're gonna make it big. We will love and cherish you.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants this section to be skipped. This would be the holy grail of MGS4 speedrunning. Even if you just want to play the game casually, if you can find a way to skip this, oh my god.
And I guess, let's say, Sarge, hypothetically, if someone does find a skip, or if they just even want to contribute, where's a place they could do that?
Oh, well, we have a community at Metal Gear Speedrunners or Discord. The MGSR Discord, you could find links to it on all the speedrun.com pages. I don't think we have a fancy one, but MGSR is the community name. Feel free to join. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, and then you can also follow us on Twitter through @MGSRunners.
Yes.
Shout outs to our social media and design team that help manage and produce content for it. You can also check out the wiki, MetalGearSpeedrunners.com, and of course follow the Metal Gear Speedrunners Twitch channel, which we hold events and other things throughout the week. So this is the bike segment. I know, I mean, it's definitely the highlight of Act 3, because trust me, the past 14 minutes have been not so much to highlight, but a mix of boredom and stress. I mean, the stress is the added bonus. Alright, so we're gonna be using, not the VZ83, but this weapon. Sort of a familiar weapon.
They're a little familiar.
I feel like I've heard that tune before.
I mean, we figured it out, though. That's the problem with that other... They reported to the wrong segment. They were supposed to be this segment with their bike helmet, but they reported to the wrong segment.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. Let's just go with that. So 30%, this segment isn't as intense as it can be. I mean, I still have ratchets equipped because damage is still plentiful and it hurts. For rank 1 attempts, the bike escape is probably the most terrifying part of the run. If you're trying to go for the big boss rank, I mean, dying is a high possibility. You try to do things to minimize that risk. And of course, you want to, again, for rank 1, you want to avoid killing guards, but we're doing nothing but killing guards, because, I mean, this is 90%, and we're just here to have fun.
Yeah, an interesting fact about this section, though, the devs knew that this was garbage to play. I'm gonna call it that. So every guard, frog, soldier, every single thing here, with the exception of you and Big Mama on the same bike, goes down in a single hit from anything. Bullet, grenade, because yes, you can throw grenades during this, and it is actually a viable strat. Tranquilizer round, whatever it is, it goes down in one hit, which is extremely useful, because without that, this section would be almost impossible to get through. But the community's put a lot of work into this section, making it easier and easier, and cooler and cooler things coming out of it. So it's, once you learn it, this section is a lot better now. But it used to be awful.
Yeah, then you're noticing there's this locked on window, followed by auto aim toggling. That's the auto aim feature of MGS4, which comes in handy for sections like this, where trying to free aim all these hits that I'm doing is pretty difficult, even if you're a really good player. And it's only used in situations such as this. Using it like in the, I guess, like normal parts of the game, it can be helpful, but the optimal range of the weapon that you're using may not be as viable on auto aim versus just like free aiming.
Yeah.
Also, that guy didn't have a good day. I was gonna try to spare him the vehicle, but I don't know, the vehicle kind of beat me to it.
Yeah. On TBE, it's not super useful, as Joe was saying, but on Liquid Easy or LE, the auto aim, every single guard on that difficulty period goes down in a single hit. So being able to just turn auto aim on and run through and just pop, 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 literally anyone that you need to, that is the category what actually gets a lot of use. So the different difficulties actually can vary quite a bit in this.
I mean, because not only does it change, you know, the damage taken value, your ammo count, supply, but it also changes, like you said earlier, the amount of like rations or healing items you can carry at a time. And even just like, you know, how enemies go down, it does add interesting elements based on the different difficulties you can do. And each one, I feel like, if you agree, Sarge, like it has like its unique routing to it. Even if it's going from like one difficulty to the next.
Every difficulty has its own draw, with maybe one exception. But I'd say all 5 difficulties have something going for them. So if you wanted to find a way to play this game, at least one of the difficulties would suit your fancy. So you'll notice that before entering this room, Joe equipped the XM25. The reason he did that is because during this section, Raven can actually take damage. Raven is the big winged female screaming at us nonstop. She can actually take damage up to a maximum of 25% of her total HP. And the XM25 allows us to skip the lock-on RNG and bullet spray of hoping it does damage. One grenade, even on the hardest difficulty, instantly takes 25% of her HP, and then we could go on our merry way and ignore her. Which is good, because the first half of this room doesn't really matter, but the second half of this room makes the rest of Bike Chase look kinda like a joke. This room is very long and very scary to take a death on, which again we won't because we have rations equipped. But anyone who's run this game can tell you how bad room 3 is in Bike Chase. These are long rooms.
Yeah, and even if you do it right, it's just the uncertainty is really what gets to me. Even if I've done it many times before. What if it's, you know, big boss pace, BB pace, 90%? I mean, you still want to perform well, but for rank 1 attempts, this is probably the most stressful part of the entire run, because every room really matters. You're trying to keep an eyeball on your HP, you know, avoid kills, but thankfully for 90%, this is more of a, you know, arcade with some tech. You know, like the early shot on Raven, because since I'm on New Game Plus, there's a faster way to beat her, whereas New Game has an entirely different method of beating Raven, which is also given the fact, you know, just what items and weapons are available to you. And since we're on New Game Plus, I have everything I possibly need.
Yeah. So it is worth talking about that now, because the upcoming boss fight is going to be a literal case of blink and you might miss it. Because we're on New Game Plus, if you remember Octopus, we brought out the railgun. The railgun does a lot of damage when fully charged. The railgun is going to be our friend here. Anyone who played this casually might remember this boss that's coming up being very annoying. She'd continue to fly in, she'd harass you, she'd fly out. You had to find her, you had to shoot her, you had to slowly whittle her down. Because we did 25% of her HP during the bike chase, and that's going to carry over, she's going to start the fight with 75% HP, and that's going to make her extremely vulnerable to said railgun. So there's going to be a precise setup we're going to get into. We're going to charge the railgun, and we're just going to one and done Raven. So get ready for that.
Hopefully I can get the job done, because I've had runs where I've missed that shot and the follow-up shot to try to save it.
Oh no!
But
Seeing the follow-up shots when it's real bad, you're just like, well, now what do I do?
yeah, but I'm feeling pretty good today.
I have the utmost faith in you. Alright, so it's gonna be a few cutscenes, and then that's coming up. There's actually two ways to do this. There is a really insane multi-segment method where you just 180 and snipe straight through a stained glass window. I don't believe Joe will be going for that.
No, I mean, I've done like the insta headshot KO using this window that is going to be coming up soon, but it is really, really difficult to line up that shot perfectly. And the one that Sarge is bringing up is a even crazier shot than the one that's about to be done here.
Yep.
Alright, so here we go. So, starting with Raging Riven, as you can see, her health is down to 75% already. Got our railgun ready, so we're just gonna stand right about here, aim at this window, which is about to get blown up. And as soon as she passes over, and she's dead.
And done. Easy. So without the 75% HP, if we had just done normal damage to her, she actually needs a headshot to kill in one hit. But because the XM25 takes her down to that threshold, it's a guaranteed even if you get a body shot on it. And now we're just gonna fight another B&B corpse. Same strat as last time. Yo, Joe, who is your favorite beauty from the B&B squad? Personally, I love Octopus. That Octofight is my favorite boss fight in the whole game.
See, I guess if the question is being referenced as just the fight, or just as the character, I guess my favorite B&B fight, despite what some might think, I actually like the Screaming Mantis fight. It kind of is like a nostalgia flashback, even though all these bosses are kind of referenced in that way. I mean, their names are indicative of that. But I just kind of like the ambiance of the Screaming Mantis fight. But as the character, I probably have to agree with Sarge, but I think it's a Laughing Octopus. You know, she's got quite the laughter, good sense of humor, be a little bit crazy, but sometimes that little bit of crazy can prove useful in a run like this.
Quote unquote, good sense of humor.
Yeah, so that's Act 3. I just got word that we have a VIP guest joining this run. And no, it's not just Bacon Snake. He is also returning. because now we can actually use the camouflages again. Because as Sergeant Silent mentioned, during the bike segment, you can't equip any camos. Like, the menu for camouflage isn't even there. As much as I would love to have that outfit, I'm sure everybody running the game would love to be able to equip things other than just the default Octa camo. So, Baked Snake will make a return, but I heard there's another individual. It comes from another game.
What? But we're playing MGS4. What other game could you possibly be playing?
I don't know.
What other game? Where would he show up from? Is it Sunny? She's from Revengeance, right?
True, but we are going back to Shadow Moses. And what better way to go back to Shadow Moses than to do it the way it began? And as soon as it's done loading... Raiden. No, nice try, Sparty. But no, we're playing MGS1 now. All right, so here we go. Gonna get spotted.
Wait, what?
We're gonna pick up this chaff, hoping to get shot in the back, which we don't.
Joe, I can't commentate that. I don't know this game that well.
Oh, sure you do. I mean, we're just running. We're flipping this guy over, and then we're gonna go underneath the vent.
Oh wait, what happened to the docks? Isn't there a dock section?
Nah, they decided that was just too boring just to sit there for, 5 minutes, wait for an elevator. They figured, hey, let's just throw him right into the action, and then Snake realizes, man, I just had that dream again.
Oh, it was a dream? What do you mean that was a dream? What?
Don't worry, guys. It was all a dream.
Yeah, it was all a dream. But I really thought when I played this for the first time and they did that, I just, I was so happy that they really did touches like this to kind of give that, like fan base flashback. Because, after all, we are going back to Shadow Moses.
Yeah, Act 4 is... I think it would be a fair statement to say Act 4 is most people's favorite act in this game. It's a very well done nostalgia, in my opinion. I love the look of this place. It looks really, really good. It's not 1-to-1, obviously. Realism means that MGS1 layout's not realistic, but I think this act looks really good, really beautiful. It has good callbacks, good boss fights. Well, mostly good boss fights. Near the end, it stops being good, but we'll get there. But yeah, it's just a well-made act in general. It really helps bring the story of Metal Gear cohesively together. Also, shout outs to copyright claims.
Yep. Gotta love it. But yes, this is indeed where it all began for Metal Gear Solid 1 for those that are fans of the franchise. I mean, you can go through the vent if you want to kind of do it the old-fashioned way, but we're speedrunning. We're just going to cruise on through.
Tank hanger. I have nightmares about this room.
The legendary Solid Snake?
Yeah, the audio that you're hearing from these flashbacks is not from the original MGS1. It's actually from Twin Snakes, which is the remake of MGS1 that was on GameCube. As somewhat disappointing as it is not getting the original audio, but I think maybe given some of the, technicalities of trying to, obtain the original audio from MGS1 versus Twin Snakes, or who knows really what what it was, but I still liked it either way. Because as you're going through, Snake's memories are just kind of kicking in times like this, which I thought was another, good added touch.
Yeah. I'd hazard to guess it's because Konami doesn't know what the source code for MGS1 is. I mean, that's half the reason the PC version exists, is it not?
Well, I mean, the MGS1 PC version is kind of an interesting experience when it comes to speedruns. It's like an entirely different game, even though they're named the same.
Yeah. Next, we're gonna get MGS4 PC, and it's gonna be a completely different game, right? Right, everyone? MGS4 PC, right? That's.
I'm waiting for that day to happen, my friend.
MGS4 Electric Boogalore.
Yes.
That'd be great, yeah. Oh, so that's a little callback Easter egg. just like in the original Metal Gears, if you push an elevator button twice, it actually comes faster. You could get fast elevators. You could get just faster elevators. So it is actually worth pushing it. He's not just spamming the button to pass the time.
Some
you have a
pretty nasty things happen in this hallway, if I remember right.
Yeah, they did.
Definitely a Monka S moment for those that have played either the original or in Twin Snakes, which is basically an old friend of ours that kind of went berserk. But anyways, this is MGS4, so we're going back to the lab where we actually first met Otacon, another nostalgia reference, which is going to be turning on the power for this hangar door so we can actually leave to proceed further into the facility, but somebody found out we turned the power on.
Yeah. Yep.
And the 50 caliber is kind of our answer to it, saying, hey, we got this, it's okay.
Thankfully, there's only one gecko down here. This hallway is too small.
Wait, one gecko?
Fight more than one. Yeah.
One. I don't know, man. Something tells me it was a little too easy with just only one gecko investigating why a terminal was activated.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But let's just say if there was just that one gecko, surely there's no way it can make their way up here.
Yeah, I mean, that elevator doesn't look big enough to hold a gecko, so it wouldn't come that way if it did.
Wait, are you sure?
Am I
no,
sure?
wait. Did you call the elevator?
What? Did someone call the elevator?
Oh no! They can use elevators?
God. I've jinxed it. There was a gecko in the elevator.
Oh, you know what the solution is? Same thing I did to the other one.
50 cal.
Yep. So.
Oh, you got the one shot too.
Yeah, that was really, really generous. I don't get it often, but yeah. So, as contrary to belief, they can use elevators, and so we just politely tell them, "Listen, we're on a run. We don't have time to play, because we got things to do, bosses to beat." Meanwhile, Otacon is just gonna tell us that he opened it. Otherwise, you would have to wait like the whole 3 minutes. You would have to distract the gecko long enough. I think in New Game there's a, and I'm just kind of guessing, but I think they used a 50 caliber still if they've like purchased it by then.
Yes. Oh yeah. You want a 50 cal that gecko. Otherwise, it has like a shield, and that's not good.
Yeah, because like if you, I'm sorry, I was gonna say like if you try to use missiles against it, it'll like detect it and like redirect it, or it'll bounce away.
Yep. Speaking of bosses, do you all remember Sniper Wolf? Well, this is not quite Sniper. Well, it is and isn't Sniper Wolf. I'm just gonna say that. Welcome to the Crying Wolf boss fight. So this is the only fight in the game that has enemy soldiers in it at the same time as the boss. So we are wearing bacon in the middle of a snowfield. Our camo is very bad. Every single one of these frogs walking around can and will see us if we are not very careful. And that actually does matter because the boss is in this room with us right now. She can smell us. She can hear us. The frogs, if they see us, will tell her where we are. She spawns randomly. Right now, Joe is
Alright, there she is.
Which spawn did you get? Okay, you got the back. That's not terrible. So she can spawn in like 8 different places across the map. Some of them are really bad. Some of them are lukewarm. This is, I'd say, one of the more lukewarm ones. Joe actually specifically put blue grenades on. The reason for that is she takes extra stamina damage if you get her caught in a blue smoke grenade. That allows us to just pull out that MGL we got from Raven, pop, done. That's the wolf quick kill. You do that in every category of the game. It's just straight up the most efficient way to take that fight out. It's way better than having wolf go and just run. Your beast fights have just been amazing this run. You're 3 for 3 on those right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can get like a really fast spawn, meaning closest to where you start. I think there's like one out of, I don't know, maybe like a dozen. I mean, there's some that are good and some that are not so good, but they're workable. And then there's some that are just so outrageously bad that you're just pulling your hair out wondering why this happened to you and why she did it. But thankfully, she gave me what I kind of consider like an average spawn. It is workable, but you do have to be very careful that you don't... it's actually, wait, I gotta check my inventory. Okay, we're good. You gotta be careful that you don't, like, trigger her detection, because, like, she'll charge you. And also, wait, Otacon's got a message.
Hold it, Snake.
There was a codec here in the first game, wasn't there?
I know, it's a pain. But you need to swap disc 1
Oh.
for disc 2.
Oh my god, dude, I don't have disc 2!
You don't have disc 2?
No.
Your copy of MGS4 didn't come with 2 discs, Joe?
Wait.
What?
On PlayStation 3.
Come on, Joe, you gotta find it. We can't continue the run without it.
No need to
Oh.
Damn it, Otacon.
We're on a dual-layered Blu-ray
man.
disc.
Otacon with his jokes.
Damn it, Otacon.
But yeah, so like when you normally in the original MGS1, when you do enter the furnace, it does give you the change to disc 2. And Twin Snakes, they changed it to when you enter Tower A, which is after fighting a Sniper Wolf the first time, and then you get captured and escape. But I guess they just felt like, hey, it's nothing but references, so we could just add another one. Good old knee slapper about the disc change.
I really appreciate the like unexpected fourth wall shattering. That's good. That was some good stuff.
Hey Sarge, why don't you tell them about this weapon?
Yeah, so, this is the Sunlight gun. Sunlight. This is a New Game Plus exclusive weapon. It's a reference to a game series called Bucktie. Someone here might know it. It's a good series, but basically the way you get this is you have to collect all 5 boss statues, which you get by defeating all 5 act bosses by completely non-lethaling their beast form or the individual frogs in Act 1. What having this is going to allow us to do is, if you guys didn't know, well, there's a certain race of creatures that are typically known to be really weak to sunlight. I'm not gonna say anything else because I'll leave it up, but let's just say gun's a little good for the cause we're gonna use it for.
And then the other thing that's also really good is the chaff grenades, which is the only item, among other items, that cannot be purchased from the Drebin shop. You have to get them in-game and farm them if you want to get plenty of them to use. And it's really useful, if not essential, for the Shadow Moses section, because there's the dwarf geckos, or scarabs as they're often called, and you have the bigger geckos, and the chaff grenade is enough to at least buy you enough time to get through without having to worry about detections, because alerts in here are not fun. You know,
especially not this room. This room in particular, if you get an alert, you're losing like 2.5 minutes because the exit seals until you kill every enemy.
Yeah, I mean, if you get caught in the furnace room that I just went through that had like the gecko fall down from the ceiling, the geckos can try to cut you off and kill you, and sometimes if you try to roll past one, they'll do what I call the 360 sweep of death. Meaning, if you get hit by one of those, it's like an instant KO on this difficulty.
Yeah.
Also, guess who's back? Yep, it's Vamp. And he's got a bit of a weakness.
You take Vamp.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming.
Wow, man, who would have known? A little bit of sunlight and a booster shot, Kappa.
So this is the other use of the syringe I mentioned. Who would have known? Sunlight and needles. That's how you beat vampires.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't need none of that super dense water or snipers. It's just sunlight and needles.
So from here on out, it's basically a interactive cutscene along with me taking out geckos. So this would be a great time for any announcements, messages.
Oh, I would like to point out really quick.
Oh, sure, go ahead, Sarge.
Look at the aspect ratio of the screen. That's all I wanted to say. It's a great time, as Joe said.
Well, that's awesome because we had another donation come in from Commodore Puggles for $20 who just says, "What a thrill!"
I approve. Thank you for donating.
Sunlight and needles. But if we do have more time, of course, I'm always happy to talk about the charity that we're raising funds for. Do we have more time?
Go for it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, Heartland Animal Shelter rescues pets from various situations, and each pet arrives with their own unique needs. Some of our pets require medical care, some require emotional support, some require behavioral help, and all require good old TLC, which is, of course, tender loving care. Currently, they not only save the most at-risk animals from the Chicagoland area, but in 2020, they partnered with shelters in 11 other states throughout the country, increasing their ability to save lives. At Heartland, they don't ever judge an animal based on its breed, age, or medical concern, but solely on the content of their character, and they truly believe that every animal deserves a second chance and pride themselves in only pulling the most vulnerable population of animals after all others have had the chance to save them. So it's a wonderful, wonderful no-kill shelter. That is what we are raising funds for here today. Please do consider donating. We are only $41 away from that new $800 goal and $241 away from our new incentive where Kuno will bring out his hamsters and you will see actual, factual, super freaking cute hamsters crawling all over Kuno. What an incentive. Please get those donations in.
Release the hamsters, get in those incentives, make it happen.
Release the hamsters of war!
Yes.
Zanzibar Death Hamster. Let them out.
Yeah, so really what's going on is we're just giving Raiden cover as he's having a go about with Vamp. You know, they kind of ran into each other before in another game, as did Snake. But they kind of have a vendetta, you know. I mean, Raiden kind of beat him twice, wouldn't really die, and the nanomachines that Vamp has kind of gives him insane regeneration properties, so the syringe that we use against him suppresses that nanomachine tech that he has, so he can actually be beaten. And so we're just taking out these geckos, so not only do they not kill me, but the ones with the blinking red lights on the sides, like this one, will self-detonate and basically create a game over. It'll blow everybody up, and we don't want that to happen. And the railgun is used here not only because it gives it to you after beating Crying Wolf, but it's the most efficient weapon, given the fact that you have a really large magazine to work with, and a minimum of a level 2 out of 3 full charge is enough to take these out, as long as you aim at the head. But a 3 charge will just kill pretty much anything it hits, at least concerning the geckos. Alright, so I think I got all the geckos I need, so we gotta cheer our boy Raiden before he gets the finishing blow.
Yep.
Sunlight!
It
Go,
is
Raiden!
Sunlight! Sunlight!
I don't know when the best time to talk about the next boss fight is, given what's coming up next. So I'm just gonna let it explain itself, because no one's gonna hear me otherwise.
I think I might know.
Just fair warning, if you guys have us at max volume, someone is going to be calling you and telling you to turn us down. Just headphones warning. This section is going to be loud, regardless of audio balancing.
I did try my best to balance it, knowing what's coming up is going to be pretty loud, but not only is it going to get loud, but the frames, at least in-game, are going to take a very, very big hit, because for the first time ever, we're piloting a Metal Gear. Metal Gear Rex, to be exact. At least what's left of them.
Yeah, you know, one small robot was able to get an entire Metal Gear running. It was that easy.
Yeah, provided you can still hear us. The fastest way to get to this escape section is just to dash forward over just, you know, running normally. And you don't have to fight the geckos that come after you because, I mean, look at this. I mean, you can't send a little gecko Metal Gear against a real Metal Gear. Know what I'm saying? I mean, it's Big Brother Rex. He's coming through. He'll just slide over whatever's in his way, blow him up.
Yeah.
Okay, Raiden decided, you know what? He's not a part of the ride anymore. He's just gonna go fight some, and it's like, okay, well, we'll meet you later.
Rex is the ultimate Metal Gear. It's not like there was ever a Metal Gear made to surpass Rex or anything. This should prove it beyond a doubt that Rex is the #1 Metal Gear. Like, look at this.
I mean, I can't think of another Metal Gear that can do this amount of carnage in such an insane rate.
Yeah, definitely. No other Metal Gear could possibly do this. Definitely not the Metal Gear that plowed into Manhattan or anything. Like,
Yeah, there might be that one. Okay, so we're almost out.
Yep. So if assuming you can hear, then the next boss fight actually has a very specific setup that we're going to be going for. We're going to purposely hit it with a couple missiles, take about 2 steps forward. It's going to bait the Metal Gear into jumping and then jumping again while we charge our laser. If we do it correctly, what's going to happen is we're going to hit it as it lands, do a ton of damage, rinse and repeat with the laser. So we're going to let this happen.
Alright, there we go. That's one jump.
Okay. That's the good. This looks like good RNG. You can still do one weird thing, but it's super rare.
There we go. That's the fight.
All right. And there you go. That is the Rex versus Ray quick kill. That is the optimal way to do that fight. When Ray is landing, he has no iframes. So every frame the laser is hitting him, he's taking a tick of damage. And you just saw what that does. That fight is the same on every difficulty if you get that strat, and it just annihilates that boss. It's a shame because that's one of the coolest, most cinematic bosses in the game, but speedrun doesn't do it because that's way faster.
Yeah, I have to agree. It really is one of the coolest moments in the game. Like, for the first time, you get to actually pilot and use the Metal Gear, and the age-old debate of, well, who's the better gear between, you know, Rex and Ray? Ray, who's designed to be the anti-Rex killer. I mean, you kind of take that fight in game seriously. It's like, you know what? We're gonna settle it right here. And of course, for speedruns, you want the quick kill. As much as I love the fight. But if you don't get the quick kill, it turns into minutes upon minutes of time lost trying to recover. And
yeah,
it becomes what could be a quick kill to like a troll fight very quickly before you know it.
Yeah,
So,
I remember.
Act 5. We're at the end, Sarge.
We are at the end. Now, correct me. It's only top deck, correct? After that, we're going back. For
Yeah,
what we can.
so for optimization purposes, I have to swap to Old Snake because I can't have the camo index be this poor when I start this section because an alert on top deck is an alert you never want to get, even if we're any percent. But once we make our way inside Outer Haven, don't worry, Bacon Snake will take over.
Yeah, basically, top deck is meant to be like the final test of your true stealthiness. And the way it makes that work is if you get an alert, every single enemy on the map instantly knows where you are and begins hounding you. This is multiple frogs, multiple geckos. Literally everything knows exactly where you are. And there is a door that you have to open, which takes, I think it's 5 revolutions, 5 spins to open it.
Yep, 5 turns.
You cannot do that. Every time you get shot, every time you get hit, you get knocked off that door. and when every guard on the map knows exactly where you are, that's just not a viable. It's just not gonna happen. So we have to take this setup, but what we can do to nullify that, after we take out those last few frogs, throw that chaff. That's actually just on the other side of a trigger. That will cause the geckos, that there normally be about 3 here, but throwing that chaff actually gets their AI messed up. It lets us walk right up to this gate, get in, get through, and that is a very good top deck for TBE. For what we want. And now that we're through that section, we can go back to the corpse.
Yeah, sorry, I got stuck on the other pattern, but
sorry,
yeah.
to bacon snake. Well, I believe we have decided it is bacon. Also, shoutouts to Proof
Dogs
Rock
don't know
for
it's
the
not
raid.
bacon.
By directed energy weapons that emit certain types of microwave.
Yeah, shout outs to Proof Rock for that raid. Thank you very much.
Yo.
Start to evaporate.
Joe, stop. Joe, that's scary. Joe, I have to sleep
trust
after
me.
this.
Trust me, there's scarier things than this than this beast I've conjured. But yeah, so Outer Haven, if you get an alert, there's only 2 ways you're getting out: through the door or through a continue screen, because they just don't stop, and you never want to get an alert up there. Which there's different ways to go about it. I kind of did this left side method, which seems pretty consistent. It's not foolproof, but it does work most of the time. But now, guess what? We
Yeah.
got another frog segment.
Yep. So, this is actually a very interesting fight. The way this fight is meant to work is 5 frogs followed by 5 frogs followed by 5 frogs. But on every difficulty, with the exception of the easiest one, we can actually do something similar to MGS2, which has what's called Tengu 2 skip. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 of these 5 frogs out. We're going to throw a smoke on the 5th frog, which is going to get her coughing. Hit her in the body. Very important that it's the body and not something like the head or an arm. And now you're going to see her stamina drop. We're going to keep throwing smokes on her so she keeps coughing. What this is going to do is it's going to keep her alive when the next wave should be spawning. And the game's going to go, what? Why is there still a frog alive? Whatever. You beat them. Optimally you could do it in...
No, I didn't get it.
Oh no! She must have passed out.
That's unfortunate.
I mean, you could, Oh no, you're going for no continues, right?
Yeah, I could fight this out, or I could take a continue to reset this faster, but...
Up to you.
I'm just gonna fight it out. Maybe demonstrate more of the wonders of the solar gun.
We'll go liquid easy. So, that actually does give me a chance. On the easiest difficulty, liquid easy, you actually cannot do that strat that Joe just tried to do. So you actually have to learn how to fight the rest of these frogs. The first 5 frogs will always be on the ground. After that, the next set of 5 frogs will actually stay up in the top the entire fight until I think it's like 15 seconds have passed. Then they will start to hop down. And the 3rd wave of frogs will spawn up at the top and then run and jump down. But they're hopping at 5 distinct corners of this pentagonal room. So this turns into a chase the frogs down, which, because we have the big boss mask on, is good. If we didn't have the big boss mask on, this fight becomes a lot more tedious.
Alright, I think I got them all.
Yeah, that was all of them.
Yeah, so I lost probably about like a minute and a half. It's yeah, I don't know what happened. I think maybe I let one of the smokes go off too early.
Either that, or you might have gotten too close to her and she saw the big boss mask, because that instantly makes her faint.
Yeah, but we're through and we're at the, not the last fight, but one of the last, or actually the last B&B boss fight. And there's a reason I kept all the frogs alive, even though any percent gives you a license to kill, if you would. But the fight is constructed with, uh-oh. Okay, Snake was, I think was feeling uneasy after all these syringe uses. But anyway, so the fight is constructed with Screaming Mantis controlling 2 dolls. One is the Sorrow, and the other is Psycho Mantis. Psycho Mantis doll controls all the living, and the Sorrow doll controls all the dead. And it makes the fight a lot easier if you keep them all alive, so you can only focus on one doll only, because every time you hit it, it drops all the frogs in the room, since Screaming Mantis is using their nanomachines against them with the powers of the Psycho Mantis doll. And the syringe that I use will suppress my nanomachine so that Mantis cannot control me, and... Okay, she wanted to get a little too friendly there, so...
Ooh. Yep, Mantis...
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, sorry. Mantis, the sword that Mantis swings is actually explosive, and if it hits us, it will probably kill us in one shot. We have rations on, but we do not want Mantis to get that close. Optimally, she'll usually swing once. She gets aggressive if you miss. That's just how her AI works. This is a pretty typical fight. One single miss when she comes forward is standard. She has a lot of very scary attacks, which only happen if you get really hasty with shots.
Oh yeah, I forgot I knew quit the Mantis stall for that frog wave earlier.
Oh yeah, you did. So yeah, the way the fight works is after we knock the Mantis doll out, ooh boy, we have to go pick it up, which gives the game a cue so that we can then hit her with our own Mantis doll. Now, optimally, we want to do this in 2 shakes. Typically, you do it in 3 shakes. That was an unfortunate 4-shake pattern there. I think you all got to see Joe using the 6-axis function on the controller there.
Uh-oh.
What's up? Oh,
okay,
no.
Look away.
Oh, no. Joe Monka. What are you doing, Joe?
I got a little too close there.
You've been getting real close with Mantis. You did say she was your favorite, Joe. I did not expect you to show us, but I believe you, Joe. I believe you. It's okay.
Yeah. Let's just say she got a little too friendly. I didn't back far enough away because I guess even if you lay on your back or if you're just crawling, they won't really go down right away. They'll still take a few steps forward. And with that, I guess like whatever you called it, like the octagon or hexagon area, there's not a lot of space to work with to begin with. But anyways, we're near the end.
Yep. The only beauty form you can just lay down directly on is Wolf. The rest of them you have to roll back. Also, something I should have explained earlier and never did. You'll notice the whole time Joe has been running with chaff grenades or one-handed weapons. That's actually because if he runs with a two-handed weapon, like a assault rifle, he actually moves a lot slower. Should have explained that way earlier, but now you know. But yeah, we're at the end game here. This first part is just Snake thinking about all the things that he's been through, all the things people have told him. If you guys know the story of this game, you know Snake basically accepted this knowing... the game is pretty dark and emotional. He accepted this knowing it would be a suicide mission. So a lot of those are coming up here. And then the second half... the enemy really does not want us getting through. So we get one final appearance of the dwarf geckos here. Or scarabs. We're going to use a chaff and just completely nullify all of them. Literally no need to even worry about them. Because chaff just takes them out. And then they'll be... we're getting close to the end of the game. So I hope everyone's ready for the literal... best boss fight in the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you thought these hallways were pretty lengthy, we're about to enter another unique attraction of the game. You know, MGS3 has the world's tallest ladder, you know, which is absolutely amazing, by the way. But this is the world's longest microwave. With some mashing.
Yo, they are Mistral's bots. I wonder if MGS4 was referencing Revengeance.
Possibly.
Yeah, definitely, possibly.
So all we gotta do is just hold up and get to the other side, and then there's a point where Snake is crawling on all fours. And so when we talked about the bacon snake, the baked snake, I mean, now this is taking it quite literally. I mean, he's being cooked.
Yeah, you guys wanted Bacon Snake. You're getting Bacon Snake. I hope you all are happy with this. This is what you wanted, people.
Don't give up on me, Snake.
Oh man, I really have unleashed something. But I mean, no regrets.
No regrets.
But even though this is kind of one of the interactive cutscene elements, again, you can actually die in this hallway if you let your health and stress gauge go down to 0 before you trigger a particular cutscene, which is the one with Sunny and the blue rose. But as long as you reach that cutscene, no matter what your HP and stress gauge is, because it's already quite low right now, you will make it every time.
Yeah, the cue for that is at the end of this hallway, you'll see there's a door. This door is going to open, and then behind it, there'll be another door. When you see that second or that third door in the back open, that's your cue that you can stop mashing. That's your cue that you're good as soon as that door opens for the first time. But until that point, you have to keep going. And yes, indeed, chat, Snake Glute. This is that snake glute that we all wanted. We got that bacon.
Also, we have another sad moment coming up, because not only did Snake take this risk knowing it was a suicide mission, but we have to say F to our solid eye. It didn't make it.
Yeah. There goes the solid eye. Snake's fine, but the solid eye, not so good.
Yeah, it just couldn't take the heat.
Alright. So, I believe, Joe, you are mashing right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or is this still analog? Okay.
Nope,
so,
whenever you're on all fours, it's mashing. Or crawling on the floor in this case.
yeah. So, if you're doing this optimally, because there is actually a little bit more tech than just hold forward. The camera actually matters a lot. You will actually get to the last door at the back before the final phase activates, which means that the entire last mashing sequence, I believe Joe is going to do it because he enjoys the mash, but if you do not like mashing, like I said, as soon as you see that door open, like, Joe could just put the controller down now. He's done. He's made it. So for anyone who wants to play this and does not want to mash, like, you don't have to do this last mash. Don't hurt yourself doing it. I remember when I discovered that, and it was like, oh my god, you don't have to mash.
Yeah, see, there's the little, like, spamming icon, which, just to Sarge's comment, like, that's, when you get to that point, like, you're safe, you know, but sometimes as a fellow runner I know by the name of D-Limes, it's talking about the mashing flex, where you're mashing where you don't have to. But yeah, this is the final fight of the game, and the time will be coming up in hopefully a few minutes. I mean, depending on how Liquid behaves, but I will let you take over since I gotta get this first part.
Sure.
As well as the second part, and maybe hopefully the third part he'll behave, even though we were just joking in a general voice about one attempt where he wasn't so nice.
Alright, so I'm gonna start off by saying I hope you guys like Tekken, because I don't know what they were trying to reference here, but Tekken, basically this fight is split into 4 phases. The first thing we're going to try to do is we're going to bait Liquid into attacking, we're going to dodge, and then knock him down. We are purposefully knocking him over because that allows us to phase him faster. We're going to break him so that we can get up, and if he gives us good RNG, he unfortunately didn't. He put up his fist and started blocking. What we're gonna do is what's known as the loop. So this is the Liquid loop. You guys might, if you know MGS1 speedrunning, it's a similar vein to this. Very, very similar. You notice that these punches are connecting and they are doing damage. So when Liquid's health stops dropping, that's when you'll know you've successfully hit him to a phase. You could stop and then restart the cycle, and that will phase him. So you guys might notice that was a reference to MGS1. It had the music, it had the fighting style. now we're at MGS2. We're looking at Liquid Ocelot. So here, everything changes. The camera changes, which means that the fight changes. We don't want to do a 2-punch. Ooh, no, I don't know.
Yeah, the pillar got in the way there, but we're good. Can't take another one of those though.
Nope. Yeah, the camera change really makes this second phase annoying. But the 2-punch loop doesn't work super well anymore. With this camera, we actually want to do a 1-punch loop, which, as you can see here, the pacing of the loop is actually pretty particular. If you accidentally tap too fast, you'll do a 1-2 combo, which you don't want to do. But yeah, you keep him locked this loop here, the 1-punch loop, and everything should go great. Thankfully, not every move could kill you. Only certain moves could kill you, like the big punch could kill you. In phase 3, Liquid's pretty much going to do whatever he wants. The goal is to get him to essentially not have his fists open, because that means he wants to CQC you, but also not be blocking. So we actually got him in a loop really quickly, which is really good. If we can maintain this, we won't have to deal with any kind of CQC. We won't have to do... Holy, phase 3. That is a godlike phase 3, Joe.
Yeah, he was definitely a lot nicer than a previous run where it started good, but then the mean Ocelot shows up where he just CQC, throws me to the floor, and then there's punching, and then I gotta elbow him, and then he'll just do it repeatedly, and it's like before you know it, you're losing time.
You guys didn't see any headbutts, but I'm just gonna summarize it. Headbutt scary.
Yeah.
But this is phase 4. This is Ode to Snake, Old Snake. This is the MGS4 fight. We are coming up on time for the run.
It's gonna be the last punch, which is at least the last in-game action you have, which is gonna be coming up after, not this one, but the last punch coming up right here.
Yep. So I believe... yeah, I'm so bad at calling time on this. I'm just gonna let you do it. I always time the final punch wrong.
All right, here we go. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, time.
And bam. GG, Joe.
GG's.
Whew, what a run.
All right.
I'm actually curious what the finish time is, because I know Act 3 kind of had a lot of juggling to do.
Yeah. That'll be. I'll stick around with, like, since we're gonna have to move out of here. I'll stick around because its credits are too long to stay here. That's not gonna happen. It's like 18 minutes of watching credits.
Yeah. What was the finish time, by the way?
2 hours and 14 seconds.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Wow. So I just got it. Whew. Yeah. So it's. You know, it's a pleasure to be able to run in this. I'm glad I got to do Win Back earlier, and of course to run MGS4. It's another one of my favorite games to play. Sarge, thank you for doing commentary. I know it's super, super late for both of us, but you know, I'm glad I could have had a, great commentator like yourself, and just, you know, with all the background you have on the game. It's
thank you for having me.
Yeah, and of course the banter we had throughout the run was really awesome. And of course, Sporadic, thank you for acting as the host for this run. I'm sure you also had fun partaking in our banter. But for those interested in running Metal Gear games, whether if it's this or any other Metal Gear game you might be interested in, follow us on Twitter at MGS Runners. You can join the MGSR Discord. Definitely recommend it. Great community. You can also check us out on MetalGearSpeedrunners.com for the wiki. It's updated by the community for the community. And also follow the the Metal Gear Speedrunners Twitch channel, where we do relays, we do tournaments, we do stream team content, which is runners producing content throughout the week. I do Saturday streams, which, of course, today being the exception. But other than that, yeah, thanks for having me, and, you know, of course, thanks to everybody that donated for such a great cause. I mean, Sarge, do you have anything else to add before we skedaddle?
Remember to follow Joe too. And now have a good night. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and be sure to follow Sergeant Silent, you know, if you loved his commentary. He's a really nice guy. But once again, I'm Joseph joestar316. I'm signing off, and have a good rest of your marathon.
All right. Well, huge thanks to both of you, Joseph joestar316 and Sergeant Silent, for that very entertaining Metal Gear Solid 4 run. And that is the end of the scheduled runs for the marathon, but y'all donated for incentive runs, so the marathon is not over. Please stick around. Unfortunately, it is the end of my time as your host, but do not worry. Our very own Kuno is taking over. It is going to be fantastic. Stick around. And it has been an absolute pleasure hosting for y'all.